Okay, welcome back, and here we go again with another Pioneer deck tech. And you will notice initially this is a green-white Auras deck, or we can call this one an Enchantress, but nevertheless, we don't really have a slot of a specific Enchantress or enchantment kind of deck in this format in Pioneer. So this deck is called the Green-White Auras by Hirayama Yuta. This is another one of the found the list from MTG Top 8 tournament results that was done in Hariruya, Japan, in their well-known LGS there. And we'll break down the deck as its main strategy, just basically curving out, putting up enchantments to their very evasive creatures, and then finishing up opponents of that process. So we have 14 creatures, 25 enchantments, 2 instants, and 19 lands. So with the lineup of the creatures, we start with the 1-drop. This is basically the only 1-drop in the deck. Glade Clover Scout from M14, which is just also reprinted first in M12. So this is just a 1/1 for 1 with Hexproof. So with Minimin Hexproof, this can be the target of spells or abilities your opponent's control. And this basically can be get rid only with edit effects. This means that the target player sacrifices a creature, or that one of William the Veil, or any Diabolic Edict card. So the main strategy is to just cast out your scouts, play those enchantments, and win from that setup. Now we would only have scout as our main 1-drop or win condition for this one, but we also have several 2-drops that can also get us the benefit of having to cast enchantments on them, or auras on them. So second one is Luminor Virtuoso. This one is from Capena, and this is a new inclusion of the deck because of its ability that when it comes to target of a spell you control, it connives. So whenever it connives, you will draw a card and then discard a card. So if you discarded an unland card, those cards is then converted to a ++1 counter, in which you will have Virtuoso become a 2/2, 3/3, 4/4, and so on and so forth. The bonus is that he is also double strike, which means you can basically deal double damage, and the more buffs you add, for example, for your any enchantment or auras that you add to him, it will deal more damage, and double that damage equal to its power, and can basically finish up the games from right then and there. In support with the Virtuoso, we also have 4 copies of Light Pause. This one is from, let me just check, Emperor's Voice from Kamigawa Dynasty. So it has this ability that whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search everybody for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that mana, with a different name for each aura you control, and then put that card to the battlefield attached to Light Pause, and then shuffle. So benefit of this is that you can basically cast a 1 or any 1-drop or 1 mana cost or 2 mana cost aura. You get to have an equal. As you can notice, there are so several cards or auras here that are not of the green and white colors, because of the Light Pause ability that would be able to search for that aura to be able for you to get a benefit for it. So example here is Hammer Hand. So this one is enters the battlefield, creature can block, and then have those enchanted creature ++1 in haste. That is basically having Light Pause get ++1 in haste. And also another option here is Kaya's Ghost Form. This is also an aura for 1, but it's cost in black. Enchanted creature planeswalker you control, when enchanted permanent dies or put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. So this is one way of protecting your Light Pause for any other spot removals or bounce effects. So this one is it dies or exile, so any exile effect would also prevent your creature to being exiled, but instead returning it back to the battlefield. So we have 4 Light Pause on that to make sure that we can be very consistent in having to curve out well with the Scout, Virtuoso, or any good old 1-drop and 2-drop threat in the deck that can be enchantment later on with their bunch of auras and benefit from Light Pause ETB ability of your auras. Now we also, last but not the least, for a creature is 2 copies of Prerelease Druid. This is not only a good hex drop by itself, given its ability that as long as it has untap, it has hexproof, and at the same time it can also add mana to any color, and basically good way to wrap to your needed auras. For example, you would need to cast 2 auras on your next turn. That can use Prerelease Druid's ability to generate that mana for playing those mana cost of your aura. But at the same time, Prerelease Druid can also be a good way to be enchantment because of its bonus ability that is X-Loop as long as it's on top. So in that way, you can have this one. We have Sentinel's Eyes, wherein enchant creature gets has Vigilance. This is also a good way to enchant Prerelease Druid to become a 3-2 and Vigilance and Hexproof at the same time. And later on, you can just punch in more of your auras to be able to buff her power or toughness, and also to deal additional damage at the same time. Now for the lineup of enchantments, we have variants, but you should also notice the 4 ops, wherein the one of the we can say as the essential aura spells that we need for this deck. So first up is All That Glitters from Thornville Drain. This enchanted creature gets +1 for each artifact enchantment you control. So basic for on its own, it enchants only for 1+1, but as more auras or enchantments as you produce or you control, the buff would be given bigger, any bigger. And then with that, we also have a similar effect with this one. This one is only for the enchantments. So enchanted creature gets +1 for enchantments you control and has first strike. The first strike would also be very beneficial in the damage step combat, wherein you could basically damage your opponent's creatures first in case they would need to quadruple block or double block your creature, and the first strike damage is very beneficial for that scenario. So 4 copies of the other armor, so multiple copies of this would be very benefit, in that you would also have all that glitters and ethereal armors, multi pasan effect getting stuck, and that's basically having double or triple, even quadruple benefit for that matter, is all of these multiple copies of all that glitters and ethereal armor is being added to your creatures. Now for the other one ups here are also 3 ups that we can also consider. We can have this one, Alpha Authority from Gate Crash. Enchanted creature has Hexproof and can be blocked by more than one creature. This is also an option. We also have the new cards from Board of the Barriers War, Audacity. Enchanted creature has +0 and Trample. This is also very good since you would not only need to problem out the champ blocker from your opponents, but you need to be able to trample damage. So that's basically making sure that you get ahead as early damage as possible with this trample effect. And the bonus also, if you this is put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you will draw a card. In that certain scenario, in case that your creature would die or any destroy enchantment effects would do have Audacity placed into a graveyard, then you would just draw a card for that result. And also we have a Cartouche of Solidarity. It is a 1/1 for mana cost that gets you a free warrior creature token vigilance, and also the benefit of having your creature +1 and has first strike. So 2 copies of that. So mentioned armor, and next is Glaring Ages. Each creature gets +1/+3, but this also has the bonus of tapping target creature and opponent control. So this is also a good way to get out early damage, even if ever there are early opponents that has these creatures that you would not really be able to deal with early on. So you can use Glaring Ages ability to tap those blockers, or in any situation also that you would need to tap a creature to do the Alpha Strike, then also use Glaring Ages ability as you combo it with the Light Toss. Also, this another option, Grips Boon. This the benefit is that you will have your enchant creature +0 and flying, and the bonus that you can return Grips Boon from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to target creature by paying 3 generic mana and 1 white with sorcery speed activation. Again, Hammerhand and Kaya's Gallswarm for Light Pulse combo, and Rune of Sustenance also. This one would also draw your card, and as long as non-enchant permanent is a creature, it has lifelink. This is also a good bonus lifelink source if you would go with the damage race. And then as long as the enchant permanent is equipment, it has equipped creatures lifelink. So we don't really mind the last part of that. Sentinel's Eyes again, and Warbriar's Blessing. This is from Terrors Beyond Death. Enchanted creatures in the battlefield, the enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature you control. This is also a bonus. If there are certain situations you would need to kill off an opponent's creature, then you can use Light Possibility again to search out Warbriar's Blessing to be able to kill that creature by using the fight ability. And last but not the least, for instance, we have Pultamin's Bless Safekeeping, to making sure that your situations that you would need your creatures become irresistible. in certain situations wherein they have some destroy effects such as Wrath of God or any massive destroy that does not target your creature, then you would have some safekeeping to make sure that you have your creature protected. Now that is for the enchantment instant creature lineup. For the lands, just pretty much basic mana fix with the brush lands, the pathways, and also channel lands for utility. And we also have Temple Garden for the mana fix and also mana confluence, which might become useful in terms that you might have drawn your non-green and non-white auras to can use mana confluence to cast them out from your hand. And for the sideboard, this is pretty much a very basic sideboard as you can see on the right side. We start with 4 copies of Basara Tower Archer. These are just 2-1 Hexproof Enrich, but I think because of the ability that it has reached, I'm pretty sure that this is a sideboard card for the Band Spirits deck. So making sure that they can block in the air and also they can also be enchanted or becomes buffed by your auras without making sure that they would not be targeted by your opponent's bounce spells or spot removals or any other combat shenanigans that you would need. In addition, for that, we have an additional copy of Residue to making sure that the channel ability would destroy any artifact or enchantment or non-basic land. We also have 4 copies of Portable Hole. This is also useful for mono red humans matchup, and also might have also a use in Bant Spirit decks since most of their creatures are averagely cost at around 2. So 2 copies also of Rest in Peace for graveyard shenanigans. I'm not sure Grisfang would be the only best matchup for this card to be used. And last but not the least are 4 copies of Season of Growth from N20. This is an ability that whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, you draw a card. That is also to making sure that its enchantment you cast goes with a card draw. That means that more gas in the late game and more options for you to have in your hand, and you would always be able to eke out a win against your opponent. So that is 4 copies, and that is basically it for the sideboard. Our deck stats you can see on this one. So this is your mana curve and the core distribution. You can go with 1.41 average. That is basically 1 drop and 2 drop for the curve, since we also only have 19 lands to get to the engine going in your deck. And the color distribution would mostly go with green and white, with white as 26, green and 13, producers 19, and both for that one. And last but not the least are just your tokens extra from the cartouche, the white cartouche that you have in the deck. So that's basically it about this list for green white auras for Pioneer format. If you like this video, just make sure that you are subscribed and turn on your notifications for instant updates as the next and upcoming more Pioneer deck decks, and even for standard with the new Pyrexia or the Pyrexia OLB1 set. The upcoming set will be added to that format, and we could also discuss more of the deck boosts and the like, that we can also have this new ideas and deck strategies. So that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching this video, and until the next time.